Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Ninja Habits Huddle call. Today is Wednesday, which means we're going to have a focus today on one of the Ninja weekly habits, the four. And because we're in the fourth week, we're going to be talking about database. So we are going to go through our Ninja daily habits pretty quickly today to keep some time at the end for talking about that database and kind of digging a little deeper into that. So let's get started. Who wants to share in the chat something that you are grateful for today? I'm grateful that today is my youngest's 18th birthday. Crazy to think about that. What are you guys grateful for today? You can unmute or you can put it in the chat. Thankful I am getting organized in my business. Oh, that feels so good. Love it. Terry, to be here in another day. Love that too. We're glad you're here too, Terry. You know, I'm also grateful. I've actually done really well at keeping my office organized. That's one of the things I really want to do this year is be really good at um, just doing it on a regular basis, not letting things get piled up. It's always easier in January and February until you get to like March and April, but I'm going to keep trying. Grateful for finding my people. Thankful for another trip around the sun. Is today your birthday, Rachel? Happy birthday. Today's my daughter's birthday too. That's awesome. Well, that's two great people's birthday on one day. You're very welcome. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Thank you. I'll tell her that you said that. Awesome. What else are you grateful for today? You're grateful you slept past 4 a.m. That's awesome. I'm glad you did too. Grateful for a listing appointment today. Awesome. I hope you knock it out the park. I'm sure you will. Going to hear Lee Brown speak today. I don't know if I know who Lee Brown is, but I'm also not the best with names. But I think that sounds awesome. You can let me know who that is, Becky, if you want. Awesome. Well, we're going to move right into our affirmations. So let's write those affirmations today. I also, last week, I shared with you guys about our newsletter that we do and who we use for that. And I do have it today with me. I've pulled one so I can share it with you guys. And I wanted to share it on one of these that was being recorded so that other people can see it. Only a few more days of writing this affirmation, and then we are looking at changing it next week. Becky said she's a broker owner from North Carolina, past president of CRS, speaking at a presentation one of our title companies does annually. Oh, awesome. That's going to be great. Have you heard her speak before, or will this be the first time? I'm guessing you might have heard her before, which is why you're excited, right? Oh, first time in person. Okay. You know, that's one nice thing I like about this time of year is just all the educational opportunities that start to come up and learning. You know what? I'm gonna have to look her up because I know the name sounds familiar to me, but I just don't, I can't picture who that is. I'm wondering if I've already seen her. I'm definitely a visual person when it comes to remembering people. If you're just joining us, we are writing our affirmations. Um, we're moving a little quicker today so that we have time at the end to talk about database. All right. I just finished up mine. So I'm going to move on. Google her. You will probably recognize her. Yeah, I'm thinking so. Love it. So next up, we have planning our day. What are you going to focus on today? What are your top 3 goals for the day? Um, I'll share mine. I have an appointment with some people who are looking at potentially building, and it is a different kind of build than what I usually do because I usually work with people that are going to like production builders, and they are really potentially looking at buying land and doing a custom build. So I've got to put my resources together into a something that I'm proud to share with them. Because right now it's just a whole bunch of stuff in my phone or information in my email, but I have to kind of put that together. So that is like my number one goal today is to make sure that I have that ready for them. Um, and at least do some more research on some of the other custom builders around town. So that is a big to do for me today. What about you guys? What is one thing you're going to accomplish today? Part 2 of your business valuation training. Love it. I'm going to go to a ChatGPT AI class. Oh my gosh, those are ChatGPT AI is so fun. Mike, annual equity review to 3 past buyers. Awesome. And Rachel, mail the pile of notes I've written. Rachel, I can so relate with that because I am doing better at keeping my desk clean. I was cleaning it and realized there were 4 note cards that were stamped and ready to go that did not make it to the mail. So they're going out today. Um, Terry, I use ChatGPT on an everyday regular basis. You are going to really hopefully get a lot out of it. I challenged myself when I went through my ChatGPT class to use it 1 time every day for something. And now I use it probably 10, 15 times a day, no lie. I use it a lot. Um, Part 2 of my business evaluation training, I already said that one. Do you have a PD version? What's that mean? Of what?
Paid. I was going to ask the same thing, the paid version of ChatGPT.
Oh, yes, I do have the paid version of ChatGPT. Have a price reduction conversation with seller. Oh, those are fun. That's a fun one, Susan. I do have the paid version of ChatGPT. I actually use ChatGPT for so many different things, and I have a couple of other things I use too. And just full transparency, even today's chat about database, what I did is I have the Ninja podcast that I listened to that was really focusing on the stuff. There's quite a few on database, but I found one that really focused on the things I wanted to cover. I downloaded it. I put it in an app called Descript and had it produce a transcript of it. And then I put that in ChatGPT and asked it to give me a format that was easier for me to narrow down my points. Um, so it really does help with like disseminating information, or I mean, there's so many things you could do. We could probably have just a whole day on ChatGPT, honestly. So I think you're going to get a lot out of that, Terry. Have fun with that. Yeah, it's so inexpensive. It's really, to me, it's really worth the investment of the amount of time. It's almost like having an assistant at your fingertips doing things for you. Um, so, yes, if you haven't looked into ChatGPT, do that. And I will say, I've been to a couple classes that were not really that great on AI. They were very surface level and not very, like, I left with like not feeling like I really understood anything even more than I already did, or like learned anything. Um, and I haven't. The best thing I've been to was a guy in our area, Ryan Miracle, who's a loan officer. He did a agent launch program, and that was probably the best training I've gotten on ChatGPT AI that I've been to. And I'm actually going through another one right now, so we'll see how that one ends up. But let's do our note cards. Um, 2 note cards today. Remember, no business cards, no asking for referrals. Keep this personal. You don't want to mention real estate unless you're writing it to someone who's recently closed or something like that. Um, I'm trying to think of who else you could write it to. I've really been focusing a lot on my vendors the first part of this year, just showing them some love. So people like your new build reps that you work with, your home inspectors that do a great job for you all year, your lenders, your title people, the people who maybe it's another realtor or another broker that you call. I have people that I call on for things, and I usually try to take them out once a year for like a meal and just catch up. But in between that time, I'll send them a little note card saying, thank you for always taking my call. Missy said that earlier today before we started. She goes, my gratitude is you always take my call. Um, really just build those people up and encourage them because they need it, especially leaders in your life. Don't neglect the people that lead you. Sometimes we think, oh, they got it all together and all those things, but leaders, they have the same self-talk that a lot of us do. They struggle with that stuff. So encourage them too. Anyone want to share who they're writing their note cards out to today? A girlfriend I haven't caught up with for a couple of years, and my stager. Oh yeah, that's another great one. Your stager. To a few people who I just spent some time with. Yeah, that's always a great place to start. If you had coffee with someone, did you have a phone conversation with someone? Awesome. Oh, before we move on, don't forget, review your hot and warm list. And I think this kind of is a great transition into what we're going to talk about today, because we're doing a little focus on the Ninja weekly habit, which is handling your database. We're going to talk about doing that the Ninja way, a smarter approach to more business. And so let's kind of dig into that a little bit. So while we're on this topic, how do you manage your people? How do you manage your database? Can you put in the chat for me, what do you use? Do you use a CRM? Do you use a spreadsheet? Do you just use your phone? Like, how are you currently working with people? Becky Buffini, referral maker. Awesome. CRM. Our MLS now offers a CRM that we use. Awesome. What a great MLS you have. Anyone else? And if you don't have one, be honest, let us know. Lofty, that's what we use too, Lauren. Love it. Which is a CRM. If you're not familiar, Lofty is a CRM. Lofty, Trello. Nice, nice, nice. Now, I'm going to have you guys ask yourself this one question to determine if you have a good database, or I would say a good CRM. I meant to say CRM there. If you can send out a mass email to people in your database, you have a good CRM. So those of you who are using systems that don't allow you to do that, do you have a way that you can send out information to your database pretty quickly? And this is something I ran into with agents, because I'll ask them like, okay, so if you're going to email something out to people, how do you do that? How do you send out an email to more than just, 10 people at a time? Or do you have people grouped in your Gmail or your mail platform? And I ask that because if you go to do some sort of, say, a client event, how are you communicating that to those people? Right? It becomes a hurdle sometimes. I have to use constant contact because I cannot do a mass email. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest factors with the CRM, is that it really needs to reduce the friction for you to send out things to people. Because if you have a special or something you want to share with a larger group of people, then you need to have a way to do that. So, just a question I wanted to ask you guys before we move on. So next thing is, databases are living. It's not a set it and forget it type of mindset. So they need to evolve as you do. I think I totally misspelled that. Sorry, guys. But they need to evolve as you do. So every person in your database has at least 2 people they know who will transact every year. And if you're not thinking about that on the regular basis, you can get more lackadaisical. I guess from doing some research, according to Ninja Selling, the database is the most neglected Ninja habit of all of them, which I found very interesting. Because so many things feed off the database, but I guess a lot of those things you can do without having, without truly taking time to update your database. But I want to just encourage you, Bigger isn't always better. So segmenting your database helps you focus on the raving fans in a better way. So I actually dwindle my database every year around this time. I go through and I say, who am I, who's really somebody I'm staying in contact with on a regular basis? Um, who is it that's still referring people or that I just want to continue to foster that relationship? And then you want to segment them into different areas. Raving fans is like your core group of people who actively refer you. This can be a small group, like 20 people. It doesn't have to be a large group of people that are in that, but what I'm going to do is end up sending you guys a PDF document of how the Ninja coaches kind of tell people to segment their databases so that you can kind of do that at a higher level. I don't want to necessarily do that today because we can get in the weeds and end up going over time. But it's important to segment your database. Now, I'm not saying your raving fans are, your list is only 20, but what I'm saying is you're going to treat the people that are your raving fans, there's going to be a little bit of a different cadence that you have with those people than you may have with the second level. When I did Buffini, they taught you to put your people into different categories like A, B, C, right? Ninja does it more in like, you have your raving fans, you have your, I think, gold, platinum, and bronze or something like that. So, yeah. And part of what you're doing with your database is what we're doing now, right? You're writing some handwritten notes, personalized gifts, newsletters that's called Flow. And I'll just stop sharing for a second so that you guys have a better view, if you can see me, of Flow. So this is an example of one of our Flow pieces. This is our January newsletter. This went out, I believe this is from last year. But it basically it's very nice quality. I know I was kind of sharing with you guys. So it's a thick paper. It comes just like this in the mail. Like there is no envelope. It looks nice. We have some of our vendor partners that get the back page. On the inside, on the front, this one had top redecorating tips for the new year. And then like a little fun fact, did you know the Eiffel Tower experiences a fascinating change, growing approximately 15 centimeters taller in the summer months? That's interesting. But then this has top 5 tips for creating a home gym, because that's a real popular topic around January. We also had a salad recipe for something healthy to eat, since we're all focused on health at the beginning of the year. And then this is what we call our science piece, which this is the part that really appeals to those people who have that mindset of, I want to know the numbers, right? So we have a market summary report. And because this is an older one, our newer one, and I don't know that I have one right here. I think it's in the other space, but our newer one, actually, we cut this in half because we were just covering so many areas. So we cut this down in half, and then the lower part of this page now is things going on around Columbus. So like different things that are happening that month. We usually do like family friendly type of activities in there. So that gives you an idea of what we sent. But this is something that you easily can put together and do every month. For your database. And that is another thing that I would say is a big touch point if you are wanting to increase that flow in your database and offer things of value to people. Let me share again here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And so here's some different ways, if you're struggling with staying in contact with your database, here's some different things. So we just talked about newsletters, frequent check-ins, calling, texting. You definitely need to call through your raving fans pretty frequently. And you should be, if they're referring people and they're people that they refer to referring people, if you're at that stage, go back to the source of where that client came from and thank the original source along with everyone in between. I started asking my agents when they say, yeah, I got a referral from so-and-so. I'm like, okay, well, who referred them? And who referred them? And then who referred them? Because you'll find it goes back to this core raving fan that referred them 4 years ago. And now that person referred somebody who referred somebody who referred somebody. That's all the note cards you should be writing and calls you should be making. And I would call that first person and say, hey, look, I know you haven't referred someone to me in a while, but I want you to know that the person you referred has resulted into, 3 additional referrals in my business. And I am so grateful for that original referral. Imagine the power of getting that phone call, right? Brightens anyone's day. I mean, people who refer people already want to help people. So you're just doubling down on that part of them that is like, yes, I'm helping someone else, right? Doing something good for someone else. The anytime challenge, this is calling through your entire database to strengthen relationships and uncover referral opportunities. This is one of the things that I felt like Buffini did really, really good is they had your 10 a day. So if you had 100 and some people in your database, it literally would cycle through 10 a day and you would just call them or reach out to them in some way. If you have a CRM like Lofty or one that allows you to tag people and create tasks with people, a great tip on this is to set up smart plans or set up some sort of recurring task that will ping you to do that so that people don't fall through the cracks. So as someone gets entered into your database, you can tag them as a raving fan, say, and now at any time in your database, you can go through and sort just your raving fans and call through that list or send them something special of value that day, right? You can do that with your A's, your B's, your C's, or however you choose to organize your people. And then at some point, maybe once or twice a year, you should just call through every single person that is in your database. And we're not talking about people that are leads or internet leads or anything you might have sitting in your database. Some of you are like, you might have 10,000 people in your database. We're talking about the core group of people that if you pick up the phone and call them, they will know your voice, they will know your name. These are people that know you, that you've worked with. And if you haven't narrowed your database down to that, I would challenge you to do that. And then a leaner database. So I love the story and and I'll share the podcast link when I send out this to you guys. His database was at like 330 people. He narrowed it down to 260 and did more transactions and volume out of that list than he did out of the larger list. So the size of the list is not necessarily the key, right? It's the value that you add to that list. And then building a business, not just a team. So leverage some support staff to streamline your operations. Leverage your CRM. What does your brokerage offer that you can leverage? If it's not your brokerage, if you don't have that kind of support where you're at, then what about finding systems out there that you can invest in yourself that will do those? I know somebody mentioned Prosecco and Post. They have a whole flow system that you can pay for, and they handle doing your flow. I know here at Mainstream, we do that for our agents. We create the newsletters, and those who want to partake of it, we will send it to their list for them for a smaller reduced fee. And so there's just, find places that will help you to stay in flow without thinking about it, but it still fits within the Ninja way, right? You don't want to automate AI this. This is something that you definitely want to be more personalized and look personalized. That's why we really go with a homespun look on our newsletter, because we want people to feel like this isn't a mass-produced item. It looks like we made it, because we did, and that we sent it out and printed it ourselves, right? That's the purpose. We don't want it to look just like some other fancy thing that comes in the mail that they feel they're just on some auto ship. Okay. So if you like what you're hearing in the Ninja Habits Huddle, please share the link. I did have someone new reach out. So I'm not sure, I forget who referred them, but they sat in on one of our meetings through your link, and they asked for the link to register themselves. So hopefully they'll be coming back and joining us. So we really appreciate that. And then you guys, you finished your Ninja Day right on time at 8 a.m. We got it in. And I just want to let you guys know too, thanks Missy, thanks for the hand claps. And I want you guys to know too, one of the things I'm going to be adding is some different classes that dig deeper into each of these Ninja Habits weekly and so forth. And I'll share those with you guys. And those of you who are local in Ohio, our goal is to make those have CE credit as well. So some of them might be in person, some might be virtual, but the ones that are virtual for you that aren't local, I'll definitely make sure you guys get an invite, and then if you're local, you'll get some CE on that. I don't know if I'll be doing an AI class. I don't know that I'm qualified for that, but I definitely can share with you guys, um, so we can dig deeper into the different ninja habits, weekly habits, like the real estate reviews, and just going more into um, a real thorough training, not just the quick ones that we're kind of doing on these calls. Awesome. Well, everybody have a great Wednesday, and we will see you back here tomorrow morning at 7:30. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Terry. You are too. You're welcome, everyone.